Alrighty, hey guys, welcome to another microphone review video. This one's a little different than what I normally review. I normally review stuff for voiceover, but today I'm reviewing a wireless microphone system. This was sent to me by the company. They emailed me and they sent it to me, so I got to say that out of the gate, but they did not pay me, and this is an honest review. So, putting that out there. Okay, so I was really hesitant to review another wireless microphone system since the last one because there were so many technical issues and there were so many problems. Now, I'm not necessarily going to be reviewing this on its audio quality because that's not really what this is intended for. The way I'm using it in a controlled space and going into a mixer is not how really it's intended. I mean, going into a mixer is probably fine. You could probably still do that for a live show, which is what a wireless microphone system like this is intended for. I will be using one of these in a second to show you what it sounds like, but for right now, you're going to be hearing all of its pops and plosives and S's and going right into the microphone, just to give you an idea of what to expect. Now, a wireless microphone system like this, which is the PHENYX PRO, which is the company, the PTV-2000. Right there. The one that I have, however, isn't the 4 handheld microphone version. It is a 2 handheld microphone version and 2 lapel microphone version. I need a good standing table so that I could actually have the box. There wasn't enough room to have the box and everything in here, so I just have the handheld, one of the lavs, a wireless lav kit, and the receiver in front of me, which is hooked into the mixer. And then I'll also be reviewing one of these guys, the headset. But all that in a second. So this kind of microphone system is intended for doing things like live shows, singing, comedy, live conferences, and stuff like that. That's what this is intended for. And so it's not intended to do things like doing comedy specials. This isn't intended to have really clean audio for doing comedy specials or doing podcasts. You could probably do, if you were at a convention and you wanted to do a Q&A, or you wanted to do, this isn't really a walk-around system because it does have to be plugged into the wall. It's not battery operated. But if you wanted to do kind of on the floor, not far from where your setup is, and wanted to do kind of a little meet and greet as people walk by, you could probably do that. That would probably be really good for this. The entire system for 4 microphones, based on the quality that I've heard, I've had it for 2 days now, and I've been reviewing it and kind of going over it and kind of collecting my thoughts before I really did a review like this. And for 4 microphones with this kind of quality, and at about $125, $130 on Amazon. Link will be in the description. And then $150 for shipping and tax and stuff like that, around that price point. For that, I would say that the audio quality on this is really, really good. I've reviewed tons of other wireless systems that are about the same price and are way worse. And those are the kind of reviews that I really, really regret. I don't regret doing this one. I don't regret reviewing this because actually listening to it, I was surprised. Now, there are a couple of things. There are some cons. I will get to that in a second. But out of the gate, for what it's intended for its intended purpose, and for its uses, I'd say it's really, really good. So So if you were just wanting to know my thoughts and opinions and a real quick review in the positive, there you go. There it is. You can now go watch cat videos. But the rest of the review will continue. So now I'm going to put one of these on, so hopefully that helps a little bit, which is what I would absolutely recommend for any kind of handheld microphone. You have to have one of these. Either that or a pop screen. But this foam cover, definitely. So it's obviously incredibly sensitive without it. So you're going to get all the pops and plosives, and that's probably because there's normally a material between the capsule and the mesh that kind of helps with some of the plosives and some of the air, but it's probably really, really thin in here. So putting that over it really helps. Makes a huge difference. So if you're going to get this, definitely get one of those. Otherwise, you're going to drive everyone crazy. Now, the microphones. I wish I don't have the other one. I'll just show you this one. Are plastic. I have to say that the box, which I'll talk more about this one, the transmitter, and the handheld, they're all basically entirely plastic, except for the top part, the grill is metal. The rest of it is pretty much plastic, except for the box. The actual receiver is pretty much all metal. And it's actually made really, really nice. So the last wireless microphone system that I reviewed last time, it had this weird thing where there was like, it lied about what it's all features. Let me just show you this, if I can get it without making a mess or unplugging anything. Get all this out of the way. It lied about its features. It basically had stickers that covered the front, pretending that it had different frequencies and stuff like that. This doesn't do this. This is incredibly simple. It doesn't lie to you. It doesn't tell you, yeah, you can change the frequencies. You cannot change frequencies with this. These microphones are set to a certain frequency, and so each one of these antennas pick up one of those two of those frequencies. So two of the mics go here, which is one handheld mic and one lapel mic, and then handheld mic and another lapel mic go into these channels, these strips, and then these antennas pick up those frequencies from those. So if you're having any kind of issue, so the con to that, the downside is that if you're having issue with this microphone, you won't really be able to do anything about it. Like if there's interference in the area, you won't really be able to do anything about that, other than obviously adjust the antennas or get closer or a better spot or get away from whatever it is. But what you could do is just turn on the other handheld mic, and maybe whatever noise or interference it's getting won't be picked up in that frequency. So kind of a pro and a con. It does come with a backup or an extra mic, so you can do that, but you can't change the frequencies technically. So there is that. You do have a little bit more flexibility, and I think each one of these actually is on their own frequency, I believe. I don't know if it says where it is on here. But I do know that the handheld, not the handheld, the lapel transmitter systems do actually have their frequency on the back. So that is nice. So there is that. It also has two XLR channels in the back of the receiver. And this also gives you the ability to basically do a stereo thing, or do where one handheld and one lapel are going into one channel on your mixer, and the other handheld and the other lapel mic are going into another channel. So if you wanted to adjust the EQ, the compression, all this kind of stuff, you could do that for two channels. Now, you can't do it for every single mic, but you could do it for half of them. So again, pro and con together, good balance. There is volume on the front of the receiver, and I'm getting my, the microphone further away from me, and it's got a lot of headroom, so I could get rather loud on this. And of course, some of the volume is adjusted on the mixer, but you do have a lot of gain on the receiver itself. There's nothing other than mute on the mic. On the microphone, so you can't really adjust the volume on here, and you can't really adjust frequency or anything. There's nothing in there. It's all just plastic and where the batteries go. That's the model and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Oh, there's the frequency. Okay, there's the frequency number for this microphone right there. So it does have it. That is nice. And as you can hear when I'm unscrewing that and fiddling with this, it's got a lot of handling noise, and that's because it's plastic, it's hollow, and there's not really a lot of insulation between the capsule and the rest of the parts. So that's kind of a con. So you don't want to be like just doing that with the microphone. But if you're holding it basically in one spot and you're talking, you're not really going to be hearing that much. And if it's on a stand, it's probably going to be fine. It may pick up footsteps. If you're on a stage and it's on the stand on the stage and you're stomping, it will probably pick that up. But unless it's like the entire band like jumping up and down, I don't know if it's going to be that big of a deal. Last thing I will say about the Handheld before we move on to the other ones is it does have. Now, I think this is really just in all the mics. There is this hiss, this kind of every time I talk. And so basically what it is there's the low end that it's kind of. So it doesn't have a lot of range in, what it picks up and what the capsule is actually capable of doing. Let me see. Oh, cool. Oh, it doesn't say what the frequencies are. I thought for a second it said what the frequencies were in the manual, but it doesn't. I think each microphone is just adjusted differently. Where is it? Oh, here we go. Okay. Handheld body pack. Where is it? 50 hertz to 18 kilohertz. So, pretty common, pretty standard, but on that low end, so basically you'll hear it when it's like this, like you can hear that. So when you're just getting the low end of my voice, but you're not actually getting the detail. You can hear that hissing, and that's just a mechanical thing. That's just kind of when there's the pieces on the inside of the microphone are a little cheaper, a little, then you're going to get that kind of interference, and that's also part of transmitting from here to here, because I don't imagine this thing has a giant antenna in it, and I don't imagine this has a lot of range. I haven't tested the range. There's not many places in my house that I can really like 100 feet or whatever. So I'm not really going to test it all that. This is intended to be in clear line of sight. This is not film work. This is for doing interviews. This is for doing karaoke. Probably be really, really good for that. And for doing stand-up. I will probably keep this for doing stand-up. This is actually not bad. I mean, clearly you can hear me in the quality through this, but when it's projected through speakers, it will probably be fine. If I wanted to, I could probably bring the low end down a little bit and get a little bit more clarity on it. So I could do that. And that would probably actually make it a little bit better for doing stand-up. But I'm just going to set this back to 0. So anyway, there's that. So now we're going to go on to the headset and the lapel. Oh, one more thing that I do want to say. I don't think it's on this one. No, it's not on this one. Okay, so the other handheld mic, when I was handling it, had this like a strong rattling sound. So what it was the button right there wasn't really it was very, very loose. So it was just kind of like rattling around too much. But this one seems to be fine. I actually plugged this one on. I thought it was both of them, but this one seems to be fine. So I don't know. You might get one microphone that you may have to put black tape over to hold it steady so it's not going everywhere. But this one seems to be fine. So maybe you won't have that problem. I don't know. Okay, so I'm not really liking the lapel mic system as much. As you can tell, it's just too quiet. So I'm going to get this right there. I wanted to just have it on the shirt where I would normally have it. But you got to get it relatively close. You got to kind of talk into it. It's not incredibly sensitive. It's not very high quality. I will say this, however. This kind of microphone system, you could definitely replace the microphone. It's really, really sensitive. You could definitely replace the microphone and get better, possibly change for better quality. You'll still kind of get a hiss from the transmitting and receiving end, but you could probably replace these microphones and get, higher quality microphones. So I will say that I'm not a fan of the lapel, and I really, so the use that I could see for the lapel would not be stand-up, obviously, and it's obviously not for singing. This would be more, again, for doing things like interviews. But I don't think it's high quality enough for doing a good interview. I don't really think it picks up the voice all that well. I would say for the most part, don't get these yeah, that capsule is just loose in there. Doesn't feel right. I would definitely not get this for the lapels, for the lapel mics. But you could get this for the handheld and the headset, which we're going to look at in a second. They're just not very clean. They're not very clear. They don't pick up a lot of the articulation. it just sounds, everything sounds nasally and metallic. And that's definitely not something that you want out of any kind of microphone system. So, not a big fan of those. As you can tell, it doesn't sound all that good. You got to really talk like right into it. It seems directional. It's definitely not an omnidirectional microphone. It's definitely straightforward, which makes putting it on, your shirt just under your chin kind of problematic. So it's not really designed all that well for being a lavalier mic. Also, that capsule is huge for a lavalier mic. So you'd expect it to be a little bit, since there's so much room in there, you could put a better capsule in there, but that doesn't really sound like what's in here. And there's just a lot of extra handling noise. And what I would want a lapel mic system to be for was so that I could do TED Talks or, interviews or, just meetings or presentations without having to hold a handheld mic. I'm very comfortable with a handheld mic because I've been doing stand-up for a very long time. But if I had a lavalier mic, what I would want out of it is the ability to, no matter where I turn my head, to get basically the same quality and to be able to move around a lot. But as you can tell, it kind of drops off from too much movement. So, not a fan of those. Yeah, just not a fan of those. Let's go to the headset. Okay, so, we can actually turn this down a little bit. That's a little hot. Okay. Okay, so now this is the headset mic, and as you can tell, it sounds about as good as just a standard, like, Turtle Beach headset. And I would say that that's probably what's in here on level of quality and make and model. Not necessarily the exact same thing, but it's on that level. It's a dynamic mic, very close proximity. It definitely sounds better than the lapel mic, and obviously because it's closer to the face. And also I have an extra little fuzzy thing that this just has the foam, this has foam and fuzzy on it. If that makes any sense. It's a fuzzy. Some things that I really, really like is obviously it sounds better than the lapel because you can get it close to the face. And if I was to do a presentation, a TED Talk, any kind of, talking head or possibly interviews, in loud, crowded areas, this is the microphone I'd go for. I would definitely try to replace these. I also like that. So these things aren't incredibly comfortable on the head because they're thin wire, but I will say this, that they did fit my head nice. They did fit around the head comfortably. It's not loose. It doesn't have jagged edges that's cutting into my face. I have a couple other headsets that do that, and they're very uncomfortable to wear. This is way better. Something that I really, really don't like about this, though, is that the capsule itself, I think, was put in backwards, and so the front part of it, the part that you're actually talking into, naturally faces that way. So I actually have to kind of like bend it this way, and as I move, I can feel it rotating back. So it's kind of annoying, but I had to do that. So it doesn't seem like it was put together the way it was designed to be put together. It kind of feels like it was just slightly twisted backwards. So some minor factory issues. But I will say again, because this is the exact same transmitter, exact same one. Oh, got a battery sliding out for no reason. The exact same transmitter, the exact same kind of microphone setup, which I do like these because they do lock in, they do clip in, they do lock in. You can replace this microphone. So you could, these are totally fine. These seem to totally work, and you could replace these lapel and headset microphones, no problem. So I would say I may end up buying some alternate microphones like for these and see if what the quality difference is, because I can actually see myself using these for doing presentations and stuff like that, and I will absolutely be keeping this system, which I don't always do that. I don't sell the things that are given to me from people that sends me microphones to review. I don't sell them, but I don't always keep them. Sometimes the review goes bad, and I just return the item, and I don't even post a review. And then sometimes, you know, I'll just give it away for somebody to somebody who like could really use the item. But this is probably one that I'm going to be holding on to, mostly just because I want to see what happens if I replace these microphones. Again, this is not for voiceover. This is not for film. This is for doing live shows. And I actually do like the system. I don't know how far away from this particular unit I can get away from with these, but I would say that what's listed in here is probably pretty accurate. I would say it's probably, you know, the companies often kind of exaggerate a little bit, but let's see, where was the number? How far away was it? 200 range depending on location and condition. So I would say that you could probably get 100 feet probably pretty well. I don't know many wireless microphone systems that do really, really well past 200. So I would say probably 100 is probably a good bet. 200, if you're not in clear line of sight, you're probably going to be breaking off, and probably past 200, it's probably going to be not usable. I'd say that's probably pretty accurate. But overall, takes AA's. It's $150. Comes with 4 microphones. It's packaged actually pretty well. There was one thing I need to go get. There's one thing that I'm just going to keep talking. There's one thing that came in the box that was weird to me. Here it is. That was actually pretty weird to me. I'm not normally used to being able to, you know, have clean audio, or being able to have audio going into the camera while I walk away. Was actually this. This was a surprise. And at first I didn't know what this was, because it's not the kind of thing that I normally see in these kinds of wireless kits. But this is actually probably one of the most interesting pieces. So this goes on either side of this box. I'm going to pick it up and show you. Okay. So this, get off the cords. So this goes on here as so, screws in on there, and this gives you the ability to attach it to a chain system. So it would be like the compressor would be on top, the power supply would be down here, that kind of thing. So you could actually hook this up to kind of like a daisy chain box system. So this is actually something that doesn't normally come with these systems, but it did, and it's metal, and it surprised me that it was actually included. Normally you have to order these by themselves, but it came with it. Nice little feature, just a nice little extra thing. My overall review for this is that it is worth the money. It is actually worth the $125. I don't know what other systems or microphones other than the 4 handheld mic version that they have. I don't know all of what else that they have, and whether or not it's, they have other microphones that you could buy from them, other ones of these. But all that will be down in the description down below. Again, it is PHENYX Pro, PHENYX, and I think they're an American company. I think they are. So I think they are located in, I don't remember where it was, but it was in the email. But you will be able to look up, it is an American company. Some of this might be made overseas. I don't know, but I don't quote me on any of that. So if you're, looking for more American-made stuff, because I know some people are, there you go. There's an American company. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. This whole review. Sorry if I was sweating. I did a live stream earlier, and I was dying. But, yeah, there you go. If you guys have any questions, leave it down in the comment section below. If you want to check it out, the link is in the description. If you guys want to see me review any other microphones, leave that down in the comment section below as well. And until next time, peace.